Hello, welcome to the Bye Guy Reviews, where the good movies right and bad one burn. Yes, unfortunately, we are at our end of the Fred trilogy. Fucking fortunately for me, I got to review one of the most boringest Fred movies of the trilogy. And yes, I'm talking about the stinker known as Fred 3 Camp Fred. And honestly, I don't know if anybody liked this movie, but trust me, if you did, good. But for me, I wasn't a huge fan of it. So, if I'm being honest, let's just shut the hell up and get on with the movie. Let's dig into Fred 3 Camp Fred and show you why I think it's the most boringest thing ever. So the movie begins, oddly enough, with a musical number. Why? I don't know, okay? But of course, this movie would... But of course, the movie does it anyway. And they're only doing it because apparently it was the last day of their school year. Which means summer vacation and all, which, yeah, I can understand people like summer vacation. I'm like, hell. Oh, kids are out of school now, most likely, but one thing. But yeah, and of course, at the end of the song, it then revealed that it was all in Fred's head because any sequence that is absolutely odd can come out of Fred's head. And then Kevin's shot spitball at him. After the title card, we then see Bertha play again by Monet. Sorry if I spelled out his name wrong, but yeah. So, but for Fred's summer, he told Bertha, sorry, I'm getting my stuff mixed up. But what I'm saying is, and Fred at one point told her about that he was going to a camp for the summer called Camp Superior. Here. At least that's what he thought. After packing his bag, his mom revealed that he's going to an entirely different camp, which, okay. Look me dead in the shades, y'all, because what I'm about to say is absolutely true. I may be getting high under these shades, but I promise you I did not make this title up of the camp. But the camp that Fred is going to is called Camp I Wanna Peepee. Let me say again. The camp Fred is going is called Camp I Wanna Pee. I'll admit, back then this was the most hilarious shit I have ever heard in my life. Nowadays, it's an odd yet dumb title, and for some stupid reason, just because of it, that he had a dream sequence of him having a heart attack over a damn cantrip choice decision. And of course, Fred was whining about it, but his mom tried motivating him, but after realizing what bus he has to ride on all the way to there, he he changed his mind real fast. And boy, was it a struggle to get her in there. And, like, okay. I'm gonna admit this, realizing it now, but I think, looking back at this now, out of the trilogy of Fred's whininess, this one was the most whiniest of them all. Because yes, after he introduced himself to the other people that was going to camp and warned them about what he was about to do for the rest of the ride, he whined for a very, 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 very long time until they finally got there. Once he got there, he finally shuts the hell up. And then we meet the director named Director Floyd, played by Tom Arnold? Oh, huh? I need to see if I heard that name before, because that name rings a bell. Okay. Oh, he was in Medea's Witness Protection. Nice, nice. He was in a Beethoven Christmas movie. Ooh. What else? Yeah, he wasn't in a lot of big... Oh, wait, he was... Oh my word, he was even in Austin Powers 1. That is a shocker. Oh, and he was also in Conehead's Buybacks and phrased at the Final Nightmare. That's interesting. No wonder he sounds familiar. And at one point, he did the model of the camp, and trust me, I'm not gonna repeat it because, like, if you want to see it, go see the movie because it's too cringy to do it on YouTube because of millions of people watching this. Even though at the same time they wouldn't give a damn at all, but yeah, back to the movie. So Fred goes to the cafeteria and gets some food. While talking to the kitchen man, gentleman, that is work, you know. And he also tries getting a cup of bug juice, but one person wants him to not have it because they're called bug juice for a reason. Which, yes, I'm betting there was bugs in that jar. And then, and this random gentleman that talked to Fred for a few seconds, his name was Willie, or as his friends sometimes call him Magoo. So, but I'm just gonna go with Willie because, for better yet, Willie Magoo. Now there's a good name for him. That's a good name for him. Let's go with that. So Willie Magoo and Fred talk. Magoo invited Fred to eat with them. Yeah. He meets one chubby, brown blondish haired dude named Cheddar who doesn't speak. A girl named Spoon who eats a lot. Like, trust me, trust me, people, she will probably eat until she's fat. And then the last person is a black guy named Dig. And yes, I said Dig. D-I-G. I did not say that other word, so don't even complain. And of course, he's named that because, he digs holes. And yes, y'all, I agree, those three names are absolutely weird. And why would, why would you call your child a kitchen utensil silverware? Like, that is stupid. I am sorry, but the parents were stupid for calling him that. But then the boys, especially Fred, started catching eyeballs at a nurse named Oksana. But, yes, y'all, if we're being honest, we can make that makes it Fred's crush number 2. Remember, y'all, Talia and Fred did not end up together, so we can't count that. This is Fred's crush number 2. Don't like it? Tough shit. So they chatted, and Willie Magoo also talks about how they all happened, even to Can't Buy One peepee before. Sorry, I was trying to get it out. And Fred had a talk with the director Boy, and they was chatting about something which I forgot because the movie wasn't that great. But I think they was talking about Olympic games that they'll have. I think, since I know that happens in the quote unquote third act of the movie, or in the third act of the movie. And he even showed off his son, who was doing push-ups with a little kid. So eventually, Fred carries his bag, or tries carrying his bag to the sleeping shed, boys shed. I forgot what you call them, but I'll call them their bedrooms. Until they're scared off by some random man in an overall. Also looks like a weird. But then the lunch gentleman, who I think has a name, but yeah. Oh, his name is Murray, by the way. And when he tells him about the old man, apparently he was revealed to be just a man named Scary Mary. The something, I don't know. Sorry. And then he even shows them where to pie, which is gross because he mentions that he wants to sell in there. But yeah. Then later that night, Fred decided that he wanted to get the fuck out. But when he tried, he gets caught by a SWAT team, one of them being Murray. Which he didn't know what was gonna happen, so but when Murray has about like um what they do trouble with a troubled boy, and he tries gets with the whole like they go back to the beds and pretend this never happened, but he shook his head no. The next day everyone was getting their food, but when Spoon took a bite out of his food, he he pulled out a finger out of his mouth. But somehow she asked if Murray put Fred in the food, and he revealed that his head was in the food. But of course it turned out to be a dream. But something was strange because Fred had a different voice, which wasn't his. But when Fred's mom was speaking, she also speaks different because it was Scary Gary. And they both scream, and Fred wakes up for real this time, but he suddenly scared everyone in the room. And then there was a PA announcement, which it shouldn't happen in the movie. But then Fred had decided that, or was talked to the viewers about how like the place sucks and it's gross and disgusting, and he thought about needing lights. And lo and behold, out from a random fridge that was right there, John Cena! Press that, everybody! And this time, and since this was like in 2012, he wore a green attire. And he tries his best to give him advice, but shockingly, telling about all the gross stuff around him, he decided, fuck this, you're on your own. And he goes back into the fridge, but gives him small, simple advice as before closing the door. But when Fred opens the door, John Cena, like the second movie, did the "You Can't See Me" gimmick. But Fred complains and slams the door. Or at nothing, because it then showed that it was all in Fred's head. Which comes to theory that some people might believe that maybe John, when like Fred never met his dad, but when Fred's mom, talked about what Fred's dad could look like he talked about he was a strong man, and Fred's head probably just thought of John Cena as that strong man, so it could be his dad. It's what my theory is thinking. I know it sounds like a tongue twister to think, but yeah, sorry, I was closing the door under. Yeah. But oh well, at least it'll meet him later, right? What's that? He's not in the rest of the movie? I'll be right back. Sorry. I had to relieve myself, knowing that one of my favorite WWE superstars that helped me get into wrestling was not in the rest of. Hang on. Okay. I'm calm now. I'm still getting high. And trust me, I'll be fine. So let's continue. After Fred complains that you know who, Fred talks to the audience about knowing how difficult this is gonna be since he's all alone without Bertha and without his mom. And especially without you know who helping him. But meanwhile, it cut over at Fred's mom's place, where strangely enough, she's getting a shoulder massage by a pizza delivery man. I know, that sounds strange. So anyway, Willie, Max, Boone, Cheddar, and Dig were all walked down the woods somewhere, but Fred and they heard a strange noise. Suddenly, they see Fred rubbing his face with poison ivy, which cuts to his face burned up. And the nurse, for some reason, gave him toothpaste for something. But he says that he probably needs something like aloe. But the nurse only said hello, but he said no, not hello, aloe. And then she said hello again. And snapping him out of it, talking about how they're just meeting up. And the next thing you know, the director brings in another sick and injured gentleman. And Fred just leaves, hearing something weird that Tom Morello said, but we don't give a damn. And what? Then later that night, Hag sit by the campfire while Tom or Floyd tells the story. Then the next day, at least it looks like it, Fred was in a different outfit than camping in somewhere, but couldn't find the campsite. But he hears a strange noise and tries calling out for it. But right behind him was a strange deer-looking monster which looks like this basically. I don't know what that is, but I know one thing, it's half-ass lazy design. But mostly for the outfit, not the mask. It looks pretty good. Then we get the whole he's right behind, isn't he? And the camera did this. And when Fred turned around and said hi, monster roared at him and he gave him some spray or something or whatever. But then the monster straight up eats Fred's head off. And somehow he is talking without a head and his body is running off into a tree. Again, it's so confusing. So stupidly confusing. And after the story, Fred complains that it's probably fake. And he was started second guessing himself until all the monsters so stand behind the game redness. And the kids and Fred did the whole he's right behind me and he joke again, which was getting on the same time. And everyone runs up, but Fred uses a stick to whack the shit out of him. And, but it was more in a casting for some odd reason. And yeah, this, like, why? Why would you do that to your camp students? The president left. Everyone, and then Fred stupidly and Fred and William do where everybody Fred to a meth log, whatever that means, to have a fashion group, but he didn't want to, but then for some reason puts on a mustache. And started doing stupid ass like conspiracy theory, which I feel like some people might do it, may have theories on it, conspiracy theories when they're on Trump's side now. And yes, I'm looking at you, Margo. But then he rips yanks the mustache off, and we get the only funny ass scene in the movie where he's just running around screaming, pulling the mustache off. And he talks about the theory where he Boy Murray mixed the food with blue pills, sent it to the kid, and something gets and somehow like they'll get sicker and sicker and sicker until their brain just transforms to Swiss cheese for some reason. Then they put it in a body bag, sleeping bag, and take it down to a rat hole where director Floyd comes by unmasked himself to reveal that he is a living giant rat. Yes, y'all, that does sound completely stupid. Really, really stupid. So Fred had decided to set up a plan to stop the madness, and he, for some reason, ate some berries while he was there and got hallucinated by it. But then he saw the monster there from the campfire story, and I kid you not, they started rapping. Yeah, Fred and the monster from the campfire story started rapping. What does it have to do with camping? And of course, he gives the camp nurse sponsor and he takes him to the room and the other gang decided that they'll take Fred to the rat hole, which he was nervous as shit about. But to his surprise, when he did go in there, and he realized it wasn't anything like he thought it was, but it was their little hideout with lights and like a machine that can shoot out strings, some snacks, and guitar. And the way on how like they tell him about how they do get is that they get Scary Gary to like they pay Scary Gary some money and then to go help him so then he can go into town and go buy some stuff. But then they wanted to show Fred something crazy that they have, which was some explosive stuff, which was a big ass firework. We're going, oh yeah, bro, whatever. Which, yes, sounds insane, but yeah. And I know you wonder, where the hell are they gonna shoot the firework at? Simple, at an empty space, duh. And eventually they lit the can firework. But right before he started to shoot, it fell over. And at first they thought it was a dud, but then it started flying around. It went under a horse, past Scary Gary, which surprised him, I think. Started flying around and then straight to the bathroom, which blows up the roof and 4 sides of the whole place. Look, everybody was in the toilet. I know, it was someone else named... Sorry, it wasn't... Sorry, I know. Yeah. So... And eventually, I talked to them about Camp Superior and the whole, like, event that they're doing at their act. But when Fred talks to the friend in the game convinced them to sign up with them, and then they did. Well, of course, since this is Fred 3, I think you know who is also on Camp Superior, if you've seen the movie, because of course, when you have Fred there, you always need Kevin there. And Thompson, and like you always sound like usual, because of course you can't leave him alone for a few fucking minutes. So the day comes So we're finally in the third act, which means we're nearly over with this stinker of a movie. And I know you wonder, what games do they go try doing? So they do games like Jalvin Toss, which I think might be their way of a ring toss or something. Or no, it's like it basically those games where you throw a spear far. But boy's brother ends up injured, so Brett tries taking place but fails, and they start realizing that they are definitely screwed. The next game they did was chess, but Kansas City won that. Then potato sack race, yeah, that's what I meant. They won that. Then a climbing race, Kansas City did that. Then tug of war, or of course they all fucking 1 out of 10 points, you know. Like, they basically won a lot, all the way up to 70 for crying out loud. But it was only like the first like 2 or 3 days, so they knew they're gonna have to try harder for the next day. But later that night when they ate dinner, it was feeling disappointed knowing that they were gonna lose for good. But for him, my friend motivates them by I'll admit it, this movie might be boring, but at least it does have one good lesson for kids to learn, and that's that losers don't have to always be horrible, and that they can be the best at being the worst. Because being a loser, you know, doesn't mean you are. Like, it's not, oh my god, I don't know how to play it. Like, sorry, my brain is wiring a bit. But anyway, let's get back to it. The next day, they did a burping contest with Jacqueline. I want a peepee game, and did. And eventually, they shockingly started going higher and higher, and being them in like pieing contests, arm wrestling, you know, glider, I don't know what you call it, but where you have those two ended stuffing things in red and blue color, and you wear a helmet for it, and you stay on one place, and the only way wins to get the other one off of it. Then next, Fred tried doing archery, and actually they made a bullseye. Right. Which gave them 10 points. Eventually, they was now at 50 to 70. So, well, the last contest they will do is a songwriting competition that will determine who will win. And Cam Superior did a rapping type of song. Which, yeah, was kind of boring. Boring too. And Fred did the Losers song, but what they didn't realize is that Kevin was gonna ruin their dance by using a vacuum machine behind the stage to suck their clothes off into their underwear. But somehow it wasn't working while they was performing, and the whole entire thing. Even though Kevin's friend was trying his best to turn it on, but it just wouldn't work, so. And of course, the song went off without a mess, ending with Cher shockingly singing the final notes when speaking for the first time. And the judge gave them a 10 and over 7, I think. Me came out on peepee wins, which Kevin complained, but then Fred's friend finally realized what was wrong with the vacuum machine, which was that it was unplugged. But when he plugged it in, it sucked his clothes off, and he was in his tight whities, and he runs away crying like a little bitch. Deep in the woods. Like a bitch. And the gang celebrated with the trophy, and in the end, they all say their goodbye. And Fred reunites with his mom on this. She mentions how she's now dating the pizza delivery guy. And he asks how's his camp, and she feels like it was the best summer ever. And the movie ends with them driving all the way home, and showing the photos of Fred, Cher, Spoon, Dig, and Willie Magoo, and with the title Jam by One Peepee. The movie was boring as shit, y'all. I'm sorry to the people who like this movie. I really do. But the movie was just so fucking boring. Oh wow. However, next time when we do a Bye Guys review, we're gonna get really strange. Because I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen, I watched this movie and it was so weird, I just got to see it. So tune in next time as I will get the 1980 something, I think, adaptation of The Wizard of Oz known as The Wiz. So thank you for watching. Follow me on Twitter at Dylan 84752387710. Don't worry, I'll change that username sooner or later. And yeah, so thank you for watching. Please like the video, leave a comment on what movies you want to see in the future on what I should review, and don't forget to subscribe for more of these, and I'll see you next time. Bye.